Hi, this is Sai. Welcome to Sai Tech Logic YouTube channel. In this video, we'll discuss about Palo Alto Firewall deployment and as well as the initial configuration. For that, you need two things. One is VMware Workstation Pro and an ISO file or OVA file of the firewall, which you're going to deploy. Okay, first let us download the VMware Workstation Pro, which is latest version 15.5 for Windows. You can download from this link here. I'll provide this link in the description. Once you install, once you download it, okay, it will ask for the license key when you are installing. Okay, you can enter the license key, and once it install, you can open that VMware Workstation Pro. Now you need to import the ISO or OVA of the firewall. You can click on open a virtual machine from here. Okay, you can select the OVA. I'm going with 9.0. Click this and click open. Okay, once you click open, it will start importing. Now you can see the import has been completed. Now let us configure the network adapters. For that, go into control panel and check what are the available adapters. Okay, I have my Wi-Fi adapter here. Okay, let me check the IP address of that. Okay, it is using the DHCP. Okay, we can see the IP address is 192.168.1.9. 192.168.1.1 is the default gateway. Okay, so remember the name of the Wi-Fi adapter. Wi-Fi, this is Intel dual band wireless 767265. Okay, now let us go into the VMware Workstation, edit, go into virtual network editor. Okay, go into change settings, click yes. Now we have two adapters here, VMNet 0 which is bridged and VMNet 8. Let me add few more adapters here. Add VMNet adapter 1, then add adapter 2, then add adapter 3, add adapter 4. Okay, now VMNet 0, it should be bridged to your Wi-Fi adapter. For me the Wi-Fi adapter is 7625. Okay, you can get it from here in network connections. Okay, this is my Wi-Fi adapter. Basically I am bridging this adapter to my Wi-Fi adapter so that we can use the internet connection. Similarly, I have VMNet 8 and I have VMNet 1, 2, 3, 4 my host only. Now let me change the IP address here. Okay, you can enable this use local DHCP service so that it automatically assigns the IP address from that interface range. Okay, otherwise you need to configure it in the firewall. You can do either both the ways. I'm enabling it here itself. Now yeah, I have VMNet 1, 2, 3, 4 and VMNet 0. Okay, now I will show you here like what I'm going to do here, my architecture diagram. So this is my firewall and this is my management PC. Okay, and this is my test PC and this is my internet, going to internet. Okay, so let me connect all these. Here you'll have your gateway device, that to internet. Okay, now let me assign adapters for each. Okay, now this is my management PC. This is my test PC, and let me give this DMZ as well. For DMZ, so here I have an server. For example, let us take here I have an my application server. Okay, now this is my gateway. This is my internet. Okay, this is our architecture. Now let us. So we have seen that the IP of my network range, if you see here, status details, if you see the IP of my management PC is 192.168.1.9. Okay, and I need to assign an IP to my management interface. I have enabled DHCP, so it will automatically assign an IP. Okay, once I power on the VM. So this is my gateway. My gateway IP is 192.168.1.1. Okay, that is my gateway, and DHCP and DNS server. Okay, same. So let us go back to VM workstation. Okay, now let me edit these adapters. So I have 4 host only and one it is bridged. Total I have 5 adapters here. Okay, which I will be using. NAT I will be not using. I will be using this bridged adapter and these 4 adapters. So for all the adapters I have enabled DHCP, so that it automatically assigns the interface range IP. Click OK here. It will save the network configuration. So basically what it does is that it adds the adapters. Now if you go into network connections, now you can see all the adapters are added here. VMnet 1, then you have 3, 2 and 4. You can see all the adapters here. Okay, so now yeah, the process is complete, and let us edit the virtual machine settings here. See, I have my network adapter which is bridged. So here you can have 2 ways. One is giving as VMnet 0, which have, or you can directly bridge. So either way you can do. Let me go with the custom and select the adapter which is bridged, which is VMnet 0. Okay, now let me add one more adapter to VMnet 0. Okay, now I have one more adapter custom which is VMnet 1 only, VMnet host only, and add one more adapter, network adapter, finish.
So I'm assigning both the management interface and the external interface to my Wi-Fi adapter, okay? Or you can directly bridge.
In this case, okay, I need internet access for my external interface, right, to go outside. Similarly, I need internet access for my management interface as well. So I should make sure that these two interfaces are bridged to my Wi-Fi adapter so that I get the internet access. So you can bridge to an adapter which you have created is VMnet 0. We need 2 more adapters for host only, which is VMnet 1 I will assign here and VMnet 2 I will assign here. Okay, to make clear, let me label it here. Use here as VMnet 1. VMnet 1. Here I will use VMnet 2. VMnet 2. So I am using 2 interfaces here. Okay, which I require. One is for my internal zone and one is for my DMZ. Okay, now go into this path, virtual missions, go into this, you will have VMX file, edit that. Yeah, edit with notepad. Copy this and paste here. Save this file, close it. Now you are ready to power on the virtual machine. Okay, it is saying as login incorrect because in the backend all the services take around 5 minutes to start the services. So let us wait for the time.
So now you can see that I'm getting the IP here 192.168.43.155. So there is a change in my network. I have connected to my mobile hotspot. So my IP range has been changed here. So these two adapters are I've assigned it to VMnet 0. Now for this internal network, the adapter is VMnet 1. Here it is VMnet 2 for DMZ. Okay. Now let us go here. So login in password is admin. So now you can see management IP by show interface management. So you can see here your interface IP management interface IP uh, subnet mask as well as default gateway. Okay, actually sorry, this is not management PC IP, this is interface IP. Okay, so you can see the IP has been assigned 192.168.43.155. So this is your management interface IP. Okay, and your management PC IP will be, so if you see here it is 43.23. Okay, so this is your management PC IP. And the gateway is 192.168.43.1. This is your gateway. So now using this IP, okay, you can open it in browser to see the GUI of the firewall. You can also change the management interface IP from the CLI. Okay, the command you should give is that set device config system and the type is static. Now you should give the static IP here. Set device config system and the IP address. IP address, give it as 192.168 for, okay, the same range. 43.155 is my original IP. I can give it as 43.100 or whatever it may be. And the subnet mask 55.255.0. And when you give enter, the IP will be changing to static to 43.100. So I'm not changing it now, just to show you how can we change it through CLI. And the other ways we can access the firewall is through web interface and as well as SSH. So I'll show you how do we access by SSH. 192.168.43.155. Okay, click yes, then admin. Okay, now run the firewall. Show interface management. You can see the same thing I'm able to see here. I'm able to access the firewall from SSH. Okay, the another way you will be accessing firewall is through web. By default, HTTPS and SSH are enabled for that interface. Now you can see you are able to access the firewall from web interface as well. Username and password is admin.
Okay, now we are in the dashboard. You can see. Okay, now this is the dashboard. Here you can see the widgets here. These are all the widgets. You can change the widgets from here. Here you have widgets option. Here you have applications, system, logs. In system you can add interfaces now. Now you can see the interfaces here. Similarly, you can add other widgets as well. So if you see the general information here, you have device name and management IP, which is 43.155, and gateway. And you also have uptime. Okay, and you have system resources, CPU usage here, both management plane as well as data plane. Okay, now you have logs here and the risk factor. Okay, and logged in admins. You can find the admins who have logged in here, or the users. Now here, this is the layout. You can select the layout, like how many columns do you need. If you click two, you will get it in only in two columns, or you can select three. Okay, now I will show you like how can we change the management interface IP. So this is our architecture diagram. So this is my management IP 43.23 and my firewall IP 43.155. Now I have already shown you how can we change this management uh, firewall management IP using CLI. Okay. Now I will tell you how can we change it using web interface. Okay. Now let us go into the web interface dashboard. Go into device, setup, then go into interfaces. Here you can see management interface. Click on the management interface. Okay, here you can see two options. One is DHCP and static. Since uh, since we have already enabled DHCP, it is automatically assigning the IP. So if you want to choose static, you can choose static, and you can give the IP address here. And here you can see the difference in the color shade right here. So here you can see in slight yellow color. That implies these fields are mandatory. Okay, these fields should be required here. Okay, so for example, say I'm giving my IP as 192.168 192.168.43.100. Okay, and subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Okay, now default gateway it is asking 192.168.43.1. Then administrative management services. I will be, and by default HTTPS and SSH will be enabled, and HTTP and telnet are not recommended. Okay, and network services, I'm enabling ping here. Okay, so this here you can see permitted IPs. Okay, so from which IPs you can access this management interface firewall. Okay, so if you see here, I can give my management of PC IP. Okay, 192.168.43.23, or I can select the network range. Okay, I can give any one of those. I can give the range, or I can give a particular IP here. I'm not doing that. So once I click OK here, my management IP will be changing. So I'll be clicking OK. Now once I click OK, I have to commit. Then only the running the candidate configuration will be going into the running configuration. Okay, I will explain you in my further videos about the candidate configuration file and a running configuration file. Now let me commit this. Here you can see preview changes, so it will show you what are the changes you have made. So as I told you, this is my candidate configuration file and this is running configuration file. Initially it was DHCP. Now I changed it to static, right? Static, and I give IP address, net mask, and default gateway. So once I give commit, these changes will be going into running configuration. Okay, any changes I make, once I give commit, it goes to running configuration. Okay, so you can also validate commit, otherwise you can give commit here. So here you can see two options: commit all the changes, commit changes by the admin. Okay, so when you are in production, when you are having many users or admins, you made by the particular user. Okay, you don't, if you give commit all changes for all the users who have made the changes, will commit. So better to go with commit changes by a particular user. Give commit. Okay, as you see, you can check, it has been stopped at 99 because it lost the communication with this interface IP, which is 155. Now the interface IP has been changed to 43.100. That is the reason the communication has been stopped. So it has been stopped at 99. So let me close this. Let me, let me close this. 192.168.43.155, which is my previous IP. Okay, it should say connection timed out error. It should give, so that the IP has been changed. Yeah, connection timed out. So let us try with the new IP which I have given, 100. Okay, now it is communicating with the firewall. Admin, admin. Yes, you can see now show. You can see this is the new IP which have been changed from GUI. Previously I showed how can you change from CLI. Now I showed you how can you change from the web interface. Okay, okay. Now let us log in here. Since we have enabled HTTPS on the interface, we should access with HTTPS only. So now let me change the IP here as well. 100. Okay. So this is the static IP which I have assigned to this interface. Okay. Now you can see we are accessing it with the new static IP. Now let us go into the device and see the general settings. Okay. Go into the management. So these are the general settings. Click on settings. Here you can see the host name. I'm giving it as Palo Alto Firewall. And domain name. Give your domain name. I'm giving firewall. Okay. Now it is asking for login banner. Okay. Whenever we log in, it displays the login banner. Okay. So I will give come to Palo Alto. Here you can set your time zone and all. Okay. Now we click OK here. Then you have banners and messages. So you can set up a banner message here. Palo Alto 9.0. Okay. Then you can set the background color of that. Let me give it as green. Then it is asking header banner. You can give the header color. Then it is asking footer banner. I'll give it as footer color. I'm giving it as a red. Okay. Now you can also set the password complexity here. Once you click enable, and once you give the minimum length required whenever whenever creating a user, or the minimum password complexity required for that, from Panos 9.1, you cannot disable this. It is enabled by default, which it requires 8 characters, one special character, one uppercase letter and one lowercase letter. So in 9.1, this is the update. Here you can configure it. In 9.0, you can see there is a option block username inclusion. Means for examples, there is a username called admin. You cannot use the same username as password. So you can enable this. So you can also enable require password change on a first login. So you can also configure this functionality requirements, like require password change for after these many days. You can configure all those. Now for now I'm disabling this. Okay. So now let us log out and log in. So first let me commit it. The commit changes by me. Okay, then commit. So close. Now log out and log in again. You can see the logout option here. Okay, now you can see the welcome message here as we have changed it. Now give admin. Now you will see the banner message here. So you can see the header Palo Alto has changed and footer also has been changed, but the banner message has not been changed. Let me check that why it has not changed. Now commit it again, log out and log in again. Let us see. So now you can see the banner message has also been changed here. Okay, click close.